All right, XCN, XYO, Qnt Pump. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name is Neil. We keep technical analysis short and sweet. Now, a lot of people have been watching the videos, and I've been talking about Bitcoin pushing over 108 and holding, and then we'd get a massive pump.
I'm saying no way. You must have rigged something. I didn't do fucking shit. I didn't rig shit. I've been waiting a long time for a hit on coin.
Yeah, so I've been waiting a long time for this pump to happen. Last time I was looking at Bitcoin and we saw the pump starting to take off, I believe it was, let's go back in the daily down here. When I saw this start to take off, I was here for that. I remember just seeing it push. I was like, this is it. We're going for the bull run. And that's a similar thing that is happening again right here as we pushed over 108 and we are still getting bullish momentum. A lot of people buying into Bitcoin. And we can expect this to be pushing even higher, carrying the rest of the market with it. Moving over to XYO, add a nice little pump up and support off this black upward trend line. And what I would like to see something like a diamond pattern playing out where we could take the height of this. I believe it's this. So we'll take the height of essentially the diamond, 39%. And once we break this black downward trend line, we could expect it pushing right up into the 1.3 cent area, which is around 33%. But XYO does take off very fast, and we've seen it gain a lot more than expected when it does take off. So the next real high, I guess not all-time high, is around 4 cents. So we are less than a penny. That is a very long way to go. And when we zoom out even further, we can see that it was all the way up here around 8 cents. So it does have a very long way to go. It is also forming out a cup and handle pattern in the bigger movement. If we were to take this and stretch it a bit more, we finish out this handle and we'll see massive gains for XYO. We could see a really quick push up, consolidation, push up again, depending on what Bitcoin is doing. Moving over to Toshi, and I guess GRT. Toshi pushed up over this downward trend line like we saw with XCN, and it used it as support and then had a continuation upward. Is now holding support above the 200 EMA, which is very good to see. And we could see a continuation push up to 0.0007 and next being 0.001. Dropping a 0 for a cryptocurrency meme coin is definitely something that we could see play out, as this would also be another cup and handle, long trailed out handle part here. And then once we get out of there, we push up towards this high, being the 0.0009 before a further push up. Real quick, GRT. And on my other video, I did XLM, which had a major push this other day. GRT is holding well over this black trend line, is pushing back up towards the 10-cent mark, and it pushed over this downward trend line. So we could readjust this trend line and say it needs to break that. And when it breaks that, see it as support before a further continuation upward. But GRT as well has a very long way to go. We can expect the next resistance to be around here, around 0.23, and then zooming out in GRT, you can see that it was all the way up here around $2.92, currently less than a penny. It may not seem like a lot, but it's a lot more percentage gain than you would just putting your money into Bitcoin. Moving over to QNT. I've been eyeballing QNT for a while. We held our support here at the orange and black line, pushed back up over the 200 EMA, held it as support, tried to test it and go below it again. That did not happen. There are too many bulls pushing this upwards. And even though in the 4-hour it looks a little bit overbought, when we zoom out in the daily, we can see it hasn't even left this 80, 70 to 80% mark, which when it does leave that area, you can see back here in May, it had that major push up and then push up again before a little retracement, touch this yellow line right here in the RSI, and then had its consolidation to bring it back down near the 50 before ultimately pushing back up out of the RSI. But 116.43 right now. I'm glad you held through this, Aaron, for the potential $7,000 loss, but immediate support, pushing it right back up to where you had your entry. I believe we're going to start getting a little consolidation here around the 122, but with Bitcoin continuing to be bullish, we'd expect this to be pushing up to around 150 before a slight retracement, keeping the RSI or the 200 EMA, and the CM guppy close by. Maybe retest into the CM guppy before pushing up even higher from around that $100 and $120 entry mark. Bringing in Compound real quick. Compound had a major push up, held over that 200 EMA, and is now going to test it as support before either consolidating slowly over this downward trend line, which would be nice to see, or a rapid push up towards $61. But Compound has a very nice high around, $459, and it broke its downward trend line. All very good news when it broke that. Had that major push up, retested that upward trend line of support, and now it just needs to break this downward trend line before it ultimately takes off. Tornadocash, I keep bringing up tornadocash because it's a very good bet, but not financial advice. It's touched this upward trend line about 7 or 8 times, holding very nice support above the 200 EMA. Volumes picking up. It's holding this upward black trend line of support. It is now only $10.40. We had an entry at $7.50, but another entry here right around, I believe it was $10 or so. So it is testing that as support before it needs to break this $10 to $11 mark and ultimately taking off, as it has a very high all-time high zooming out into the daily. Tornadocash being $10, all-time high up here at $459, also forming out a very long cup and handle pattern. And we see once it pushes up to the $32 mark, which is 3 times your money from this point of entry, then it'll finish out that cup and handle and have a massive spike upwards, and you have wished you would have spent $10 to earn nearly $500,000. Now moving on to the last is XCN. XCN did a major pump up once it held support off this black trend line, and it pushed up around 37%, currently sitting around 28 to 30%. But what we really just need to see is this either hold a new high right here above the 0.018, or we're going to have some consolidation, maybe a test off this 200 EMA before ultimately pushing upwards. Also, the volume is very high. Looking at it down here, you can see volume is picking up, price is picking up. In the, 4 hour? Let's zoom out. There you go. It is the 4 hour. Moving on to the daily, this is just a very small blip in what this coin's potential can be. So do not miss out on buying your XCN either now or waiting for a little bit of a retracement. However, if you enter now, its all-time high is 18 cents. We are currently at roughly a penny and a little over a half. Huge potential wealth gain on this move on XCN. So that's it for this video. Good luck and have fun with it. Like and subscribe if you want, and references in the links below.